Welcome back. We'll get to Sapna to talk about those exclusive flashes on the screen. But as of now, Anand Tandon is still with us to discuss the markets. Well, Anand, what is your view on the PSU banking space? There could be an additional, PSB recapitalization for FY19 to the tune of 20,000 odd crores. And earnings have incrementally not looked too bad when it's come to asset quality, at least for some of them. So what's your view there?
So I think there are two different PSBs that we are looking at. One is of the kind of State Bank of India, where there is reasonable balance sheet strength and the size that is required and the heft, as well as the technology to be able to actually grow from here. And given the fact that I'm generally positive on the corporate lending space, I think that is something that you may want to look at. For the rest, I think 20,000 crores is nothing that will be equal to what ILFS would probably take away. If you assume that ILFS loses you 30,000 crores, and large parts of that is actually with the public sector, which is more than likely. So I think as a step, recapitalizing is needed, because without that you can't increase the lending at all. But I'm not sure of the quantum given whatever we are expecting from ILFS.
Okay, let's just track those details. I mean, the flashes that you were seeing on your screens, there could be some additional buffer made in terms of capital for PSU banks. 20,000 crores is the amount that's being spoken of. Our colleague Sapna has more details. Sapna, just remind us of the math. I mean, the amount that they were supposed to do this year, is this 20,000 crores in addition and excess and over above that?
Absolutely, Sylvie. This is over and above the around 45 to 46 odd thousand crores worth of recap bonds still remain to be given out. And of course, the indication on that front is also very clear that once the Q2 results are consolidated, the next tranche of infusion will start. However, what we have learned is that over and above the existing plan for FY19, there could be a requirement for keeping a kind of a buffer ready. Because by March 2019, the full rollout of the Basel III norms, has been on the cards. And this has been one of the discussion points between the government and the Reserve Bank, because and it's well known that the globally accepted Basel III norms, in fact, some of the best international practices. I mean, the benchmark kept here in India historically, but the central bank has been slightly on the higher side. So, in case we go for the global benchmark, then there could be a reduction in the capital requirement. One of the indicators that we can look at is probably, 1% reduction against the risk-weighted assets, of various banks. So that will free up a lot of capital. So, however, in case the discussion doesn't go through, or if there is no breakthrough, because, you really need the central bank nod on this, and ultimately they are the regulators, and they are the ones who have to actually go ahead. Then there will be a requirement of some additional infusion. So just as a buffer plan, the government is thinking on these lines as of now. And as we are more or less aware, the issues that were left kind of undiscussed in the previous, no conclusion was reached or no decision was taken. All of those issues are likely to come up in the next board meeting, and this is going to be one of the key agendas. See, because if you go for the global benchmark in terms of these capital requirements, the norms over there, then also your PCA framework as a fallout of that, kind of gets quote-unquote relaxed, not diluted, but kind of a relaxation, because it frees up a lot of capital. So this has been a clear demand by the government for quite some time. But in the interim period, while this discussion is on, they would like to keep some kind of a buffer ready in case some additional capital is required for PSBs, apart from the 45, 46 odd thousand crores of the bonds that are already in the FY19 thing.
Sure.
So this is how the plan looks like. So we have to wait and watch and see what happens in the next RBI board meeting.
Okay, all right, Sapna. Thanks very much for getting us all of those details. Well, Anand, we've completely run out of time, but I just wanted your quick thoughts in terms of, say, a couple of picks from the broader markets that you'd be recommending, if any.
Well, it's difficult to make recommendations given the volatility in the market, but I think the life insurance business is certainly something I like. In the domestic place, I think cement, especially this mid-cap cement, is an area which I think should do well, given the fact that we are entering the right season. And as I said, I continue to like the secular growth stories which are export-oriented.
Okay, all right, Anand. Thanks very much for joining in and, in fact, reacting to a whole host of news, which has, in fact, come out just in the past 10 to 15 odd minutes. For the Nifty, we're building on gains, so up around 200 points for the Nifty. High point of the day, almost inching towards 10,600. And the Sensex also showing a whopping gain of 658 points. Take a break. Be back with some F&O strategies.